I was just thinking, like, this is the one that you can just throw it inside your bag and you will be covered for the whole day, no matter what you are doing.
Yes. Hi, welcome to Rotten Rebel. I'm here with the one and only Sandra Solomon Fragrance.
Yes, hi everyone.
And welcome back to yet another versus video. And this is going to be a lot of fun because these two are insane bangers. Yes, these two are compliment getters like crazy. We have YSL Y, the Eau De Parfum. Oh my god. Currently one of my most complimented fragrances against YSL Y Le Parfum. I love them both. You love them both.
I love them both.
But which one would we choose if we could only choose one? Let's do this. So before we begin, I just want to say that we have prepared the dry downs of each fragrance. But let's start with the opening, and let's start with the opening of Y EDP.
Yes.
And I'm going to quickly read up the notes. We have apple, ginger, bergamot, sage, juniper berries, geranium, amberwood, tonka bean, cedar, vetiver, and olibanum.
Fresh citrusy opening with some depth to it, slightly herbal, slightly aromatic, but really nice and fresh.
It's fresh, it's bright, but with a slight hint of something maybe fruity sweet in it. And that actually makes all the difference in the world. So it's fresh, aromatic, a bit like fruity something. I love it. I love the opening.
Very, very elegant. This to me is, the funny thing about this is that when I smell it, it's definitely a dressed up fragrance, but it's also dressed down. I mean, you could have like your jeans and t-shirt and just smell elegant in it anyway.
Yeah, this to me is, not only is it one of my most complimented fragrances, but it's also a fragrance that I feel has so many different sides to it. And it's also a super versatile fragrance.
Yes.
If I want to, I mean, I always want to smell good. But if I want to smell good in any kind of situation, regardless of where I am, then I will most likely bring this one with me. Because it doesn't matter if I'm coming out of the gym, if I'm going into the gym, if I'm going to a dressed up event like a suit and tie event, if I'm going out with friends, if I'm going out for a drink, if I'm going out on a date, this one works.
Yeah, I agree. And I was just thinking, like, this is the one that you can just throw it inside your bag and you will be covered for the whole day, no matter what you are doing.
Yes.
And also put it in your bag if you're going on like a weekend trip and you have a fragrance that you can use for the whole weekend.
Perfect to bring on, like if you're going on a vacation or something like that. But yeah, I love the opening. You seem to love it as well.
Yes, it's a really good opening. This is the kind of fragrance that smells good from the first sniff.
Yes, definitely. So let's move to the opening of Le Parfum. I'm gonna quickly read the notes. We have apple, aldehydes, grapefruit, ginger. Then we have sage, lavender, geranium, tonka bean, cedar, olibanum, and patchouli. So there's like a similarity to it, but with a few changes.
Yes, deeper, softer, and more sweet. You can definitely pick up on the tonka beans.
This grapefruit in this one, in the other one there were bergamot.
Yeah, and grapefruit is like the best fresh note you can have because you get the freshness, but you also get something a bit fruity sweet with the grapefruit.
Yes, so this one to me is, it's still bright, but it's not as bright as the EDP.
No.
And it doesn't come across as fresh as that one, but the opening is still sort of a fresh-ish.
Yes.
I like it. It's aromatic. It's semi-fresh. But if I would compare the openings between these two, I think I actually enjoy that bright, really nuanced, aromatic, citrusy, and slightly sweet opening of the EDP. How do you feel about these two?
And you know I'm quite picky with my freshies. This is a good one with a fresh opening, but I actually do prefer the Le Parfum opening because it is fruitier, it's sweeter, it's deeper and less fresh than the Eau De Parfum.
Okay, interesting. So yeah, I prefer the opening of the EDP, you prefer the opening of Le Parfum. Let's move on to the dry down of the EDP.
Definitely still fresh, but not as fresh as in the opening. It's now more woody and more aromatic to me.
Yes.
And I actually do enjoy it more now that the freshness is a bit toned down.
So yeah, I agree. This one to me, now that sort of a woody base is coming through a lot more.
Yeah.
It's still aromatic to me.
Yeah.
We lost a bit of that freshness, that citrusy opening, and it's sort of a calmed down now. It's more full, it's more round. I absolutely love the dry down. It's like it's evolved. It was beautiful in the beginning, but it's almost even more beautiful now.
Yes.
Woody, aromatic, that slight hint of fruity sweetness is still in it. I'm in love. How do you feel about it?
I think the dry down is really good. This is a fresh aromatic woody fragrance that's not sweet, and that's good.
Okay, so let's try the dry down of the Le Parfum.
Yes.
How do you feel about this one?
Now we're talking. Yes. Now we have some, it's like cream, it's fresh aromatic woody and creamy and slightly sweet.
Yes.
And the creaminess is, I don't know if you pick it up, but I think that creamy sense or that creamy vibe really makes it something extra.
I feel that maybe it's the tonka blend that gives it that sort of a creaminess that you described. And that one is quite different to that side in the EDP. This one feels maybe, I mean, none of these to me is something that is super sweet.
No.
But I did in the EDP get something that would be, I guess it could be the apple or something, that gave me a slight hint of something fruity sweet. That is not present in this one. This one is more, and I think it could be the tonka, giving it a slight hint of sweetness, but it's nothing strong. But one big difference, to me at least, is that the Parfum is way less woody than the EDP. That's quite a difference to me.
Yeah.
And the woody side is also different in the Parfum. So overall, the Parfum to me is a bit more flat almost. It doesn't have all these different sides that I find is so attractive about the EDP.
And I think just the opposite.
Okay.
Because I really enjoy that the Le Parfum is more flat, more, I would say more kept together. And I really enjoy that they have toned down that freshness, which you have present in the Eau De Parfum the whole time.
Okay.
So I would say, like, if you're really into freshies, you will probably prefer the EDP. But if you're not so into freshies, but you do like the aromatic and woody side of fragrances, maybe the Le Parfum is better.
So if I'm gonna sum this up, I think the EDP has a different brightness. It's citrusy, it's way more citrusy in the opening than the Parfum. I do feel that the opening also has a bit more nuances to it. It's not as sort of a singular as I feel that the Parfum is. The Parfum is also way more smoother in the opening. Now, when it comes to the dry down, same thing. Parfum is way more smooth, and to me at least, I know you have a different opinion here, but the Parfum is more flat, whereas the EDP has more nuances to it. It just feels that the EDP has more layers to it. It's more exciting, at least to me. And the EDP is definitely more woody, at least to my nose. If I am going to choose one, sorry Parfum, I'm going with the EDP. I love it that much, and yeah, all the compliments I get with it is just an amazing bonus. So please do share how you feel about these two.
So I can agree to many of the things that you said, but this is just a matter of what I do prefer, and I think they are both great. So you can't go wrong with any of them. But I do prefer the creamy sweetness from the tonka. I always prefer fragrances with some kind of sweetness if I can choose between freshness and sweetness. So for me, the Le Parfum is the better one. And the one I would say is just as versatile as the other. And you can use it for any occasion.
Both of these are amazing, and at least we can agree on that both of these are really, really good.
Definitely.
You can't go wrong with any of them.
No.
Please do drop a big like on this video. Thank you so much. Make sure you head on over to Sandra Solomon Fragrance's channel. I'm going to link to her channel in the description below. Sub to her, sub to me, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.